Hello wizards, welcome back to my channel. Students, as you know that I have started the chapter tissue from class 9 syllabus. I'd like to continue the same in this video. You can go through the previous video if you want. You can. The link is given in my description box. Nothing more. Let's start it. So students, today we shall start with the topic plant tissue. As in my previous video, I have cleared the concept that plants have their own tissue and animals have their own tissue, and there is a vast difference between these two types of tissue. So in our NCERT book, the tissue are broadly classified and they are described separately in the form of plant tissue and animal tissue. It's a vast topic. So let me show you a handmade chart which describes about the types of plant tissues. The plant tissue is broadly classified into two types. Just see and let us go through the chart itself. So this is the chart. It describes the plant tissue part and its types. So basically plant tissue is divided into two types, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. In the latter part of the video I shall explain all these terms. First of all, let me explain you the chart. The meristematic tissue is again classified into three types. The first one is apical meristem, lateral meristem and intercalary meristem. So these are the three types of meristematic tissue. Then the permanent tissue, which is another type of plant tissue. The permanent tissue has two more types in it. The first one is simple permanent tissue and the second one is the complex permanent tissue. Again, the simple permanent tissue comprises of three types, that is three types of tissues: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. They are simply called parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. And the other type of complex tissue is having two more types, that is xylem and phloem. The xylem tissue has four types of cells which I have written and I will explain later on. So xylem has four types of cells. These cells are tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fiber. Again, the phloem tissue comprises of four types of cells: sieve tube, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. That's all about the chart. The broad classification of plant tissue has been written here in the form of a chart. So today in this video I shall explain only up to this much, that is up to the types of the meristematic tissue. Since it is a huge portion, so I will cover up to the meristematic tissue and its type only. Now, if the chart is clear enough, let us move toward explanation part. In the explanation part, I'd like to first of all explain the meristematic tissue as given in the chart itself. What is a meristematic tissue and its types? So a meristematic tissue is a simple living tissue. Please note down students, it's a living tissue having thin-walled, compactly arranged immature cells. The cells are immature and they have a tendency to divide and form new cell continuously. This is the main topic, or you can say that this is the main definition of the meristematic tissue. I want to repeat again that meristematic tissues are consisting of cells which are having compactly formed cells that are immature and they have a tendency of continuous division. The main features of these tissues are: number one, they have very thin cell wall. The cell wall is very thin. It has the intercellular spaces very less or absent. That means, as I have told that in the definition that the cells are compactly placed, so the gap between the cells is very less or absent. Generally, vacuoles are absent in case of the cell, or the cytoplasm is densely packed and the nucleus or the nuclei is present. Large number of cells organelles are present inside the cell. Active metabolic state, stored food is absent. They are highly active dividing cells, that is they are continuously growing, that is they are found only in those regions of the plant where the particular region is growing. That means you can say that it is root or shoot tip. So according to the definition, we can classify meristematic tissue into three different types. Let me show you a picture of a plant. It's not the exact plant, it is a model plant. I am explaining it so that you can get an idea that where the different types of meristematic tissues are found. So you can see in the picture there are three types of meristematic tissue. The first one is the apical meristem. You can see the position of the apical meristematic tissue or the cells which are found there. The second one is the intercalary meristem, and the last one is the lateral meristem. So the first one is the apical meristem. The term apical actually explains about itself. It is present in the growing tip of the stem and root. Note down, tip of the stem and root. That means in the tip region. That means whenever we see a plant, when the branches are growing or the main shoot part is growing, only on the tip portion and also in the root tip portion the apical meristems are found. So the cells are continuously dividing. The cell division take place in these tissues. Therefore, the tissue have a tendency to grow itself. So, by the help of the apical meristem, the stem region, the root region elongates quickly. Thus, it is involved in primary growth of the plant. So, we can find the function of the apical meristem as the apical meristem is responsible for the elongation of the plant or growth of the plant simply. The next type is the intercalary meristem. Intercalary meristem, you can see the region where it is found in the picture itself. You can see that if you take an example of a bamboo plant or tree, there are regions from where the leaves grow. Those regions are called calary. Okay, so the two calaries, in between the space is there, that space is called intercalary. So intercalary meristem is a type of meristematic tissue which is found in those regions. So we can say that the region where the branches or the leaves grow in the stem, on that region the intercalary meristem is not found, but between two adjacent position, just between them the intercalary meristem is present. It is the part of the apical meristem which is left behind during growth period. That means we can say that once the apical meristem has completed its growth, then it shift to another stage. That means it starts growing once again. So when the growth is over, only on that region the intercalary meristem is found. So another position is at the base of the leaf or internode region. As I have told, the intercalary position or the internode. You can take the example of bamboo or sugarcane. We can see a sugarcane, or we can have a sugarcane. Whenever we take the juice of the sugarcane, we find that some regions are very hard and we are unable to even chew them. Those are the places from where the branches grow. Okay, and the juicy portion of the sugarcane, that portion is actually the internode. So the only those portion is present the intercalary meristem. So as I have told, its example is the grass stem, the bamboo stem, the mint leaf or mint plant stem. Those are the examples. Then the function. What is the function of it? The function of these intercalary meristem is to increase the length of the leaf or the length of the particular stem or particular branch, maybe. Okay, so this is the portion, this is the exact function of the intercalary meristem. And the final one is the lateral meristem. It is the type of meristem which is also known as secondary meristem. It is present along the sides of the longitudinal axis of the plant. It gives rise to the vascular tissue. So about vascular tissue, again in the future parts, that means in other tissue parts we will study. Vascular tissue is another type of tissue which we will explain afterwards. So they arises just because of the presence of lateral meristem. And since lateral meristem are present in the regions of the plant, it causes the growth of the girth of the stem and root. That means the thickness of the plant actually increases due to the presence of lateral meristem. They are responsible for secondary growth also. So secondary growth, in the sense, growth one is for increasing the length of the plant, which we can consider as the primary growth. And the secondary growth, it means that the growth in girth position or the thickness of the stem. So lateral meristem is responsible for this. So students, this portion is enough for the understanding of apical, lateral and intercalary meristem of the meristematic tissue. In my upcoming video, I shall explain the remaining portion, that is the permanent tissue, its types and its definition and its function. So I think today's class is okay for you, as I have explained with the help of the chart. For today, I think it is enough, because the terms are very tough to understand. If you go through the definition, if you go through the function, you can easily find out the difference between these tissues. So keep a watch on the first video, that is the tissue, the introductory video, so that you can understand the definition of the tissue, and afterwards you can understand the types through this video. That's all for today's video. Please stay tuned to get my upcoming videos. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. You can also ask me some questions or can clear your doubt by typing in the comment box. That's all for today. Thank you.